What does it take for a government to turn on its own people? Not just to silence them, not just to imprison them, but to erase them. To treat an entire group of human beings as a problem to be solved, or a stain to be cleansed.
They took the registry list from the town hall. They marked the doors with chalk. My neighbor, the man I've traded bread with for 10 years, he was the one holding the clipboard.
Different leaders, different words, same idea.
They are weakening the nation, poisoning its future.
For stability, the enemies of the nation must be removed.
This is a matter of security, a necessary measure.
The enemies of the revolution have no place among the people. They must be swept into the dustbin of history.
It's for the good of the nation. It's a surgical necessity. They don't belong here anymore. They are the reason we suffer. To protect our future, we must secure our present.
In the modern era, the world has watched governments turn the very tools meant to protect citizens, the law, the police, the military, into weapons against them. When governments turn against their own people, it does not begin with violence. It does not begin with camps, or mass graves, or headlines. It begins quietly, with a shift in language, a change in tone, a story repeated often enough to feel true. And once that story takes hold, a line is drawn between people. Across different countries, different leaders, and different ideologies, this pattern repeats. Not identical, but familiar. A blueprint. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That blueprint follows a pattern, and it always starts the same way. Step 1 is division. Not violence, not yet. Just a line drawn between people. Us and them.
They are the reason things are falling apart.
The group is labeled, blamed, reduced. Not individuals anymore, but a category. And once people become a category, they become easier to hate. We've seen this before, in classrooms, like the blue-eyed, brown-eyed experiment of Jane Elliott, in rivalries, red versus blue, in teams, schools, nations. Tribalism doesn't create division. It reveals how quickly we accept it. Division creates the line, but a line alone isn't enough. For that, you need someone to tell people what to do next. Step 2 is obedience. Still not force, not yet, just direction. From someone who appears to be in charge. Trust us, we know what must be done. Authority steps in, not as a threat, but as a solution. Rules tighten, voices narrow, and slowly, people stop asking questions, especially when those who do are punished, removed, or silenced. In one study, psychologist Stanley Milgram explored a revealing question. How readily will ordinary people obey in the presence of authority? Passengers on a train were asked to give up their seats. When the request came from another passenger, about half refused. But when it came in the presence of a uniform, compliance was immediate. No force, no argument, just authority. Responsibility begins to shift from the individual to the system, and whatever they're told becomes right. Step 3 is where the line is crossed. Not just thinking differently, but acting differently. Harm doesn't arrive as cruelty. It arrives as necessity. If we don't act, they will destroy us. The language changes. Not killing, but cleansing. Not removal, but security. The message is repeated, refined, amplified, until it no longer sounds extreme, only inevitable. Think about rivalry, a game, a crowd, a jersey in the wrong section. Words get louder, lines get sharper. Sometimes it turns physical. That's the micro scale. Now imagine The same tension, the same division, but reinforced by authority. And now you are told to act. You don't have to hate someone to hurt them. In experiments by Stanley Milgram, 65% of participants were willing to deliver what they believed were dangerous electric shocks. Ordinary people, not monsters. Nice people, compelled to obey an authority figure. And once harm is justified by leadership, it doesn't feel like harm anymore. It feels like doing what had to be done. Because those in charge have already taken responsibility and given you permission to let yours go.
I mean, who's going to take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman?
I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue, please.
All right, next one, slow.
Step 4 is stand up or stand by. Not everyone agrees with everything they see going on, but fewer are willing to speak.
It starts with the small things. You catch yourself lowering your volume at the market. You see your neighbor turn their head when you pass. Eventually, the silence moves inside. People stopped talking, even in their own homes, because you never know who's listening or who's looking for a reason to prove their loyalty.
Voices disappear. Some are ignored, some are punished, some simply vanish. Step 5 is extermination. By this point, the system is ready. But it didn't start here. It started when people were no longer seen as people, dehumanized, reduced, labeled as less than human, as threats, as something to be removed. And once that line is crossed, it becomes easier to destroy them. Lists have been made, doors have been marked, orders have been given, people are taken, displaced, erased, not because of what they've done, but because of who they are.